2007, Los Angeles. The city has changed. Cops rule the day. Punks rule the night. And one man wants to rule them all.
Double Dragon. That's 2 dragons, Gary, not just one.
Yeah.
Dose.
If you're excited about the possibility of a single dragon, then a double dragon just ups the ante.
Just wait for this movie, because it's going to kick your ass double the time with dragons.
So Double Dragon was a beat 'em up video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically like
arcade?
the OG. It was an arcade game, yeah. But it was like the OG of beat 'em up games.
Because you're just going around, just kicking, punching, kicking, doing some flips. Do you flip? You can jump, right?
I don't know if you can jump or flip, but like it was a huge hit, and pretty much all the other beat 'em ups just like copied the template.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's solid, right?
Yeah.
It's got that 3/4 thing, so you can walk up and down. Right? Am I thinking of the wrong type of game? You know, it's like sort of top down.
No,
slightly
it's not
bird's
really
eye,
top down. It's just like it's a third person perspective. Like the camera sees you, you see yourself on screen, and you're just walking around punching and kicking people.
But you have depth to where you can walk, right? You can like kind of.
I think sometimes
kind of in deeper into the screen and punch guys in this arena rather than just like a 2D platformer.
Yeah. Anyways, it was pretty popular, and because of that, they made a cartoon and the film, and both of those things have pretty much just been widely panned. Nobody really seems to like them.
The video game, yeah, that's what really has the staying power. Yeah. Whereas you don't really talk about the movie very often, or I didn't even realize there was a cartoon.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a cartoon. I got the movie for Christmas as a kid, probably in like 96 or 97.
Yes.
And it was pretty disappointing because I was expecting something like Mortal Kombat.
Sure.
And Double Dragon, it's more like Power Rangers. The movie was directed by a first-time director, James Yukich. And he was trying to go for something like lighthearted that would appeal to children. The movie was shot by Gary B. Keeb, who's probably most well-known for being the cinematographer on John Carpenter's later films, like Prince of Darkness, They Live.
Oh, sure.
He also shot RoboCop 3, a bunch of episodes of Tales from the Crypt. So, pretty legit cinematographer.
Yeah, it seems like this guy is able to shoot like puppets and special effects and that sort of ilk.
Double Dragon opens with a close-up of the Double Dragon medallion and Robert Patrick doing a voiceover about why it was split into 2 pieces.
Thousands of years ago, in ancient China, an evil army of shadow warriors terrorized the great city of Changsha. To save his people, the good king sacrificed himself to create a mystical medallion. Realizing the ultimate powers of the medallion, the king split it in half.
And then realizing its power, he split it in half and gave it to his sons. But if he had to sacrifice himself to create the medallion, how does he split it in half and give it to his sons? Isn't he? Didn't he sacrifice himself to create the medallion? Anyways, after the fucking the medallion scene with the voiceover, there's a second intro scene and an opening title that's just vaguely somewhere in China, because the writers couldn't even be bothered with researching a specific location. So it's just somewhere in China.
Somewhere, you get it. You get it, Gary. Somewhere.
A village of monks is being burnt to the ground by a bunch of guys in black geese and armor.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're like the bad guys.
Yeah. I mean, bad guys wear black, Gary. That's a given.
Anyways, the guys, they're looking for the Double Dragon medallion, and they can't ask the monks because they've all had their tongues cut out. Yeah. It doesn't really slow them down that much, though. The hooded character on the horse follows one of the monks into a cave where there's some sort of statue with a medallion around its neck, and she snatches it. So cutting out the monks' tongues to protect the location of the medallion wasn't very effective.
Well, at least one guy retreating to the cave was like the worst thing he could have done.
Yeah, all they really
everybody
had to do
cut out their tongue.
Was not go to the medallion.
Everybody cut out their tongue so that no one would know where it was. And they wouldn't have if he didn't just run. He doesn't even go over and grab the medallion and like stick it up his ass. So
no, he brings her right to it.
He goes right to it, hides behind a rocks on the side or something, and then like jerks off sadly with his tears.
Yeah, why are there even monks there? Would have been better off just left alone in the cave. Then it cuts to like some futuristic like communication device.
Yeah.
And the hooded figure pulls off the hood to reveal it's Kristina Wagner.
Uh-oh.
Who
Bad
plays
news.
Linda Lash. So Linda Lash is the villain Kogashuko's main henchwoman. I think it's supposed to be like a big reveal, like that it's a woman. It's like, oh, wow, women don't usually do stuff.
Don't usually kill
Yeah.
and maim and chase after
She didn't
people.
really kill anybody. She just went and got the medallion
Yeah,
while the
she-
Chinese dudes were killing other Chinese dudes.
Right. She checked out the guy who fled to the cave.
Yeah. But they call her Lash because she uses a whip. But I like to call her Gash because she's the only female in the crew. She's pretty ineffective as a henchwoman. She mostly just exists to like deliver one-liners throughout the movie.
Now who's the boss? Is it just me? Or is it hot in here?
The next scene takes place in a dystopian Los Angeles. The backstory being the city was destroyed by a massive earthquake and left behind by the federal government. So it's now partially flooded and has been renamed New Angeles. Basically, LA in 2007 in this movie is New Orleans in 2005.
Right.
Just like after Hurricane Katrina.
Just a flooded, future punk city.
Yeah. Also, there's a citywide curfew at which the police stop patrolling, and the city is overrun by various gangs. So
They just let them rain.
yeah, basically it's like New Orleans in 2005 and LA in 2022.
Yeah, essentially. What year did this movie come out?
1994.
It's too
And
real.
like, in,
Like they
in
would've known.
1994, this is like, there had recently been the big like Northridge earthquake.
Oh, okay, sure.
Gang violence was like at a high.
Right.
Those were like the problems facing LA.
Yeah,
So they
right.
assumed in 2007 it would be like those things amped up. But gangs and earthquakes are like quaint
Yeah.
compared to like what LA is dealing with now.
It is a nightmare.
So finally, we're introduced to the Robert Patrick character, Victor Guzman, or as he likes to be called, Kogashuko. That seems it's like
He's not. You're not joking.
that's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, definitely. This fake blonde guy.
Yeah. Well, basically, Kogashuko is it's Vanilla Ice with a goatee.
Oh yeah, that's the inspiration. I can see it.
I mean, that's
even-
exact. It's
it's
not
not
even
even
that, like
inspiration. It's
that's
just what it is.
exactly what it is. It's like they took a photo of Vanilla Ice and drew a goatee on it and gave it to the costume designer. Like he's just Vanilla Ice with a goatee.
Make this.
So he's doing cultural appropriation in two ways because he's taking the name of a Japanese man and he's dressing like a wigger. But he's not rapping. He's not breakdancing.
Yeah.
He's not doing graffiti.
No,
So it's
unfortunately.
complete cultural appropriation
He's just a
and
just a
pretty
rich,
fucking offensive. Yeah.
Just a rich bullshit guy.
Kogashuko, Kakasaka.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right.
So Kakasaka from now on, Gary.
Yeah.
Not Kogashuka.
So Lash brings Kogashuko the medallion, and he's disappointed to find it's only one half of the double dragon.
Sad.
Obviously, because there's only one dragon.
This is only half of it.
He holds it in his hand, and like it's just like a shitty After Effects thing where he just like turns into like black and white, like a 2D.
Like a piece of paper that folds,
How did-
falls over.
Is that how they visualize the power of the soul?
Yeah, your soul looks like a piece of film, a black film that just
Yeah.
kind of floats away in the wind.
It's like, look, it's 1994. There's literally 10 things we can do in After Effects, and we need to do all of them. Well, in the next scene, we're introduced to the film's protagonists,
Yeah.
teenage brothers Billy and Jimmy Lee,
Nice.
played by Scott Wolf and Mark Dacascos, as well as their guardian/adoptive mother, Satori Yamada, played by Julia Nickson, who was wearing the other half of the Double Dragon medallion, which I always thought was confusing because Julia Nickson looks like she's at most like 2 or 3 years older than the guy playing Jimmy Lee.
Right. Yeah, I didn't realize that was their adopted thing.
She's like their
Married
hot
to-
stepmom, basically.
Who's like only 5 years older.
Yeah, and that's the cast. Scott Wolf, Mark Dacascos, Julia Nickson, and Robert Patrick as Kogashuko.
Kakasaka.
Yeah. The only real Asian person in this movie is probably like the henchmen, and they're probably from Burbank. Anyways, Billy and Jimmy are participating in some sort of like karate tournament inside a post-apocalyptic YMCA.
Right.
The most interesting thing about this scene is that like the whole time the tournament is going on, the building is shaking from aftershocks, and a midget smoking a cigar is adjusting a giant jack to keep the building from collapsing.
He keeps cranking this thing the whole scene.
Yeah. I don't know why a midget, but it's a nice touch.
Yeah, it's definitely puts us in a weird, like, comic book world almost.
Yeah.
You know, where there's randomly midgets trying to hold up the ceiling.
Yeah. I like to imagine he's not even a midget. He's just an average height guy who got squashed during the earthquake. And he's using his newfound disability to his advantage. That's what you call glowing up, Russ.
Oh, that's a pun. Wait.
No, it's not a pun.
He has all the strength.
No, it's called glowing up. That's when you get better with age. Like, you just get older and you look shittier as you get older. But me, I get better. I get better as I get older.
Like a fine wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Gary, I've always thought you were kind of like a fine wine.
So,
Eat you some cheese.
Yeah. Jimmy is...
Wait.
Yeah,
he has all the strength of a full-sized man?
Not only that, the reason why his belly looks all distended is because he has all the intestines of a full-sized man. And it's crammed into his little midget form.
All 20...
Poor little guy. Look at him go, jacking up that thing.
20 miles of intestines to give him strength.
Yeah.
Wow.
He probably
the real hero of this
he's
movie.
little, but he takes big human-sized shits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always
cigars.
clogging the toilets.
Yeah.
That's why they got him on jack duty, because keeps clogging the toilets. Fuck. Go jack that shit up.
Well, he also plunges the toilets at the facility, so it's like it's the same motions. He's got the muscle memory to do it, you know?
Cleanest, best, most unclogged toilets.
Yeah. But anyways, Jimmy is winning the karate match, but Billy, the more impulsive of the two, he tags himself in and basically costs him the championship because Billy sucks at karate.
Yeah, he's not very good compared to his brother, who looks nothing like him.
Well, it's pretty obvious throughout the movie that Scott Wolf can't actually fight, and Mark Dacascos is an actual martial artist.
Yeah, it kind of seemed like a Rush Hour sort of situation where it's like, well, one's the funny guy who kind of is there.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be a martial artist.
Right,
like,
yeah.
And he can't fight. And they just cast Scott Wolf, I think, because he was popular from being in Party of Five.
Sure.
And they needed a name. But yeah, like Billy's giving the fucking other guy noogies and being silly, and he gets them disqualified.
Jumps on his back, yeah.
Yeah. And afterwards, Billy starts a fight with the winners and turns the whole thing into a melee. And the whole time, that midget is still pumping away at that jack. Just look at him go.
Just jacking it.
Yeah.
He's the hero. He's saving everybody in this place who doesn't give a fuck about the fact that the ceiling is collapsing.
Probably the most entertaining thing in the film so far. So after the tournament, Billy, Jimmy, and Satori end up being out late and have to drive home after curfew, putting them at the mercy of the various gangs running the streets of New Angeles. And the curfew is set up by like a news report that's playing live on TV as people are like rushing home. Mm-hmm. And the news report is actually kind of like a funny parody of the news.
Right.
It's like the hosts are
69.
Yeah, and I guess the joke is that like this is how the news in LA would be. And the hosts are like George Hamilton, Vanna White, and the weather guy is Andy Dick.
I always get them mixed up, whether to go forward or backward.
That's great, Vanna. Andy, how's it look out there?
Oh, boy, you two are crazy.
Yeah, I actually kind of liked it, but it was unfortunate. It cuts away before Andy Dick has the time to sexually assault anyone.
Specifically, what's his name?
I don't know. I mean, with Andy Dick, I could believe that he would sexually assault Vanna White. I would believe that he would sexually assault George Hamilton.
Well, that's why he's not really there. He's the weatherman. They shot his segment separate. They can keep him on a green screen.
Well, Hollywood always
in his cage.
Yeah, they put Andy Dick in a cage.
Yeah,
because they know that, like, it's Andy Dick.
Yeah, you gotta keep him away from everything. Actually, I knew his no. Actually, I shouldn't tell that story. Don't worry about it.
Oh, come on, man. What?
No,
I got molested by Andy Dick?
No, but I did know
somebody who got molested by Andy Dick.
I knew someone who was like worked with him or like,
and
directly.
if you've worked with Andy Dick, you've probably...
He had some stories. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
And his life seemed crazy, and he wasn't very happy. I hope he changed careers or at least got away from Andy Dick. No offense, Andy, if you listen to this, but like and subscribe, Andy. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're fucking
please
crazy.
subscribe, Andy, and please don't sexually assault us.
Yeah.
You can sexually assault Russ, but not me, please.
Yeah.
That's basically consent. Don't say
me
that.
just saying yeah. I'll cut it.
Yeah, we'll cut it out.
I do not consent to being sexually assaulted by Andy Dick.
Okay. For the record.
You can keep that.
Yeah. If Andy Dick ever says otherwise, it's on the record. So,
y'all heard it here. All 150 of you.
Back to the protagonist. Billy basically gets them into like a Eddie Murphy type situation.
Where he's caught in a limo with a transvestite?
Yes. Yes, you nailed it. That was the reference.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He's like, hey, chickie at 2:00, and she's my type. She has a cock. Anyways, this girl goes from looking like Willow Smith to looking like Jaden Smith when she pulls her wig off.
Zang. Damn, Gary.
Why are all these planes flying by today, Russ? Don't they know we're recording a very important podcast about a very important cultural artifact from the 90s?
They just don't appreciate true art.
Yeah. I'm gonna wait for it. I'll wait for it to pass because what I have to say is so important. Russ.
Do you catch these on the
yeah,
recordings?
probably, but it's probably not that big of a deal, really.
Yeah. So you could probably keep the segment if you
Yeah,
want to add the time.
Yeah,
It's just us. Yeah,
So Billy sees what he thinks is a woman, and who am I to say she's not a woman? I didn't say that. I think she's beautiful and brave.
That's my Eddie Murphy impression.
Oh yeah. That was terrible. You gotta do it like that. Hey, you wanna come back to my house and let me see your penis? Like that.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.
Yeah. Well, there's one of two things that happened. Either Eddie Murphy was trying to have sex with a trans woman, or Eddie Murphy mistook a trans woman for a woman. Right? One of those two things happened.
I mean, listen, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, don't pick up prostitutes. Period. I mean, no offense, sex workers out there, but there are better places than like just the streets hanging out. That's dangerous. It's dangerous out in the streets. There's all sorts of psychos like Eddie Murphy out there. You know, they're gonna try to make you watch Shrek 20 times.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Anyways, the young person in the skirt is a ploy, and the Lees are held up by a gang of guys with mohawks.
Oh no!
Led by
bad news.
Bo Abobo.
Yeah, his name's Bo Abobo. I wonder if is that a throwback to the game?
It's
like that was a boss.
Yeah. Bo Abobo. He was just trying to blow a homo. Eat a Rolo.
Smoke a bolo.
Low fat froyo.
Play around with a yo-yo.
Yeah. Okay. So Bo Bobo tries to steal the dragon pendant from Satori.
Oh no.
Yeah, exactly. And she stabs him with her knitting needle, and then they take off, leading to a chase with Bo Bobo and his sidekick Hawk, who looks like a chicken. He also kind of reminds me of the redneck kid with the big nose from Hey Arnold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a reference.
See the resemblance.
Yeah.
Hey Arnold.
That's I
see.
In the 90s.
That's a thing that they say in the show. Where are we?
Who
am I?
Yeah, who are you, Russ? That's what I ask myself every day. I'm like, who is Russ? Does he even know?
Do I even know? I'm like, you're like Jim Carrey after acting like someone else for a full year.
Yeah,
who am I even anymore?
You've been disassociating so long, you've lost the sense of your own identity.
Yeah. I feel like a Terminator.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to.
Sometimes you look into the mirror, into your own eyes, and you feel like you're almost looking through yourself because there's just nothing there.
Yeah, Gary, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do.
Yeah. So in the truck, Hawk looks up the Lee's information, which leads to a running joke throughout the film.
It's the Lee brothers, Ugg and Home.
Oh, I get it. Ugly.
Like ugly and homely.
And then they point that joke out.
Yeah, it's a recurring joke. I think it would have been funnier if they made them the Mo brothers and he called them Ho and Cho.
What's a chomo?
Chomo is a prison term for child molester.
Oh no. They soon do adopt those nicknames for themselves.
Yeah, when they get arrested after murdering all these people and they go to prison, then they're labeled Homo and Chomo.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the sequel. Double.
It's really just part of their later gang affiliation.
Double Dragons again.
Yeah, Double Dragons again, the sequel. So the chase scene is kind of underwhelming. They throw a map which covers the truck's windshield, so Bo and Hawk have to drive off a joystick and like a 3D camera, like they're playing a video game.
Yeah, which is
fucking stupid.
It was just,
Double Dragon's not even a stupid, shitty 3D driving game.
Yeah, and they're just using these weird graphics. It's not a throwback to the game or anything. It's just weird. I think they just had 3D effects in the budget and like, this is a good way to use it.
The 3D video game thing in the car, it just feels like they didn't have the budget to shoot a chase scene. So they just cut to this stupid 3D.
Oh, you know, I didn't really think about that. So they could do things inside the video game, and then you don't even have to.
Because the whole chase is pretty cheap. It's like mostly close-ups inside the cars, and there's not a lot of like
smashes. Or, bumps even.
Anyways, the chase ends in a crash, and Abobo gets out of his totaled truck looking all pissed off.
It's all right crash, and he definitely wouldn't have survived that.
Yeah. But Billy and Jimmy are saved by Alyssa Milano's character, Marion Delorio, and the Power Corp, who are like a straight-edge gang or something.
Right, and they're just kind of hanging around with graffiti written on their hoodies.
Yeah, they just like quietly rappel down behind the leaves and scare away Abobo, which makes no fucking sense. He would beat the shit out of all of these fucking dorks.
They're all like kids, right? That guy's got to be at least 32 and hopped up on so much meth. He doesn't give a fuck about like 32 different teens that he's gonna.
Yeah, I don't buy it at all. He would fucking beat up all those kids and rape Alyssa Milano in front of them.
He just got out of a truck accident. That guy's adrenaline is so pumped up. He's not running away from this fight. He's gonna kill everyone.
He would have murdered like 15 preteens if this was real. After they scare away Abobo, Marion bends over to grab his like gang communicator. And
what did she grab? Sorry, I was making a bad joke.
She bends over to grab his like gang communicator thing.
Right. And
then like both the Lee boys basically like come in their pants simultaneously. Well, that's what happens with twins. If you make one twin come, the other one comes.
The other one comes at the same time.
Yeah. That's why they call it a double dragon. Until now, this movie's like going out of its way to be all goofy and safe. And then Alyssa Milano just shows up in like short shorts and she's giving these fucking 30-year-old teenagers boners.
Yeah. She does look cute as hell.
Yeah, it's cool and all. It just feels out of place, but
oh yeah, for sure. It like them looking up her skirt when her jacket when she bent over was very like, what? I feel like I don't know. It felt out of place.
Yeah, it's like a kid's movie, but you hate to complain. It's probably the best part of the entire film. Yeah, aside from being the leader of the Power Corp, Marion is also the police chief's daughter. So she's leading a double life, fighting crime with her short hair at night and wearing a wig during the day so her conservative father doesn't throw her down a flight of stairs. No daughter of mine's going out after curfew dressed like Little Kim.
Fathers. Midwest, huh?
Yeah, I mean, well, they're in L.A., right? He's,
Yeah, he's a Midwest father.
Yeah, he's probably a member of the LAPD executioners gang.
Oh, yeah, he's a cop. Of course he's going to respond with violence. That's all he knows.
Yeah. There's a scene where Marion's having breakfast with her dad and her little brother, and her dad mentions that all the guns in L.A. were confiscated, which I guess explains why there's no guns in the movie.
Right. Everyone's just trying to
there's
fight.
Gangs and crimes everywhere, but there's no guns.
Yeah, you're just showing up and trying to punch people?
Yeah.
They use weapons at all?
Well, it's a good way to like make it like a kid's movie.
Sure,
you can't have them like getting shot. But I would love to see Jimmy and Billy Lee put their fucking mall taekwondo up against like one gang member with a gun. So Billy, Jimmy, and Satori live in an abandoned theater, which is like kind of strange. It's like they're like living off the grid, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or something.
Mm-hmm. This is a beautiful theater, though.
Yeah, it's a cool location. This movie does have good locations.
And I feel like I've seen a lot of them in other movies. Like I just watched Last Action Hero, and I feel like that's the theater from The Last Action Hero.
It's likely. Satori gives him a little more backstory on the Dragon Medallion.
Your father was in the excavation when it collapsed. He gave this to me in Changsha, with a warning. He said the mystical powers of the dragon are far too dangerous for one person to possess.
And she tells him it's split in half. She keeps one piece with her, and The other is where no one will ever find it. None of this explains, like the Chinese monks or the fucking village that got burnt down.
Right. Somewhere in China.
Yeah.
How did she break it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess she didn't split it in half. She just has it separated.
Oh, okay.
Like it was split by
the guy who sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
King guy there.
Yeah. So at this point, we already know that Kogo Shuko has the other half of the medallion.
Right.
And he shows up unexpectedly with his fucking stupid sunglasses on, smoking a cigarette on a holder like a prominent lady of the 1920s.
Cruella DeVille.
Yeah, yeah. So there's like simultaneous fights between Kogo Shuko and Satori, while Billy and Jimmy are fighting with the two like ponytail guys. Pretty goofy, cartoony stuff, like slipping on gumballs.
Yeah.
So like a real cheese dick fight scene.
Yeah, it's very cop out for a movie that you thought was gonna have fighting in it.
Yeah, now I think about it, I guess it's just because like Mark Dacascos could do martial arts and Billy had to like
Can't
throw
do shit.
gumballs.
Yeah,
and shit.
exactly.
Yeah,
he's got to make faces at you and make you bump into a glass wall rather than kick your ass at all.
Yeah, but also like Kogo Shuko fighting Satori is weird. It's like he's way bigger than her when you see the wide shot. He's just fighting
he's
this
a tall,
little
lanky
woman.
dude. Yeah. It wouldn't be any.
It's not super realistic, but yeah, she holds her own in the fight.
Yeah, she has some good fighting.
Yeah, the movie does have strong female characters. It's not realistic that this fucking tiny woman is gonna fight this guy, but
as effectively as she does.
Yeah. Abobo shows up and he's been turned into like a big monster by Kogo Shuko.
Right. Get all hopped up on some sort of experimental something.
Yeah.
And he's just got the biggest fucking traps I've ever seen in my life, Gary.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking giant scrotum.
His neck's just, he's a tumor on a
He's
ball
very
sack.
vascular, yeah. He looks like somebody took a nut sack and just like pulled it real tight.
It doesn't look comfortable.
No, he looks cool though. It's like actually like a cool effect. At this point, like the highlights of this movie are the Abobo effect and Alyssa Milano's butt.
Yeah. Both of which.
But then, like, Abobo was just very easily defeated. Like, they build him all up, and then they just undersell the character completely.
He, like, trips on a banana peel.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's defeated easier than when he was just a normal guy.
Yeah.
And then from this point, he basically exists as, like, comic relief throughout the movie.
Right, because he probably couldn't do anything in the costume. I don't know why they would make such a cumbersome, like, muscle suit if he's not even going to get one punch in. We don't even know how strong the guy is because he never even does a single thing. He gets crushed by the ceiling.
I'm like, what, did he also get brain damage? Or like, why is he now an imbecile? He doesn't even have the same voice. Like, he sounds like Bobcat Goldthwait from this point on. He's like, oh, God, it's fucking silly. Like, what a waste of a fucking character. Next, Shuko tries to trick Billy and Jimmy into giving him the medallion by possessing Satori, which is funny because Billy... He's very easily tricked by a man dressed as a woman, as we know from the earlier scene.
Right.
So he almost gets him, but not quite. So they figure it out, and that doesn't work. So Shuko fucking knocks out Satori and burns down the theater with her inside while Billy and Jimmy escape with the other half of the medallion, which is kind of weird and dark for a fucking kids movie.
Yeah, pretty heavy. Killing their adopted mother.
He kills their hot stepmom. Just lets her burn to death while they run away.
Well, they try to get back, right? And then it explodes?
Yeah, I guess so. They don't even go back for her corpse. They're just like, all right. And then there's the cliche scene where like they have a little bit of conflict. And they fight a little bit. And they're back to being bros. No, you're homo. I'm chomo. I fuck kids.
Fine. This week.
Yeah. But you're a homo too. You fuck little boys. Oh, yeah. In the next scene, this is hilarious. Alyssa Milano catches her little brother watching like futuristic VR porn on his headset.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. She walks into his room while he's playing with Lisa Ann's tits on his Oculus.
Yeah, bounce some more, baby.
Lena Paul's sucking him off, and his hot sister comes in and ruins it.
Oh, this is cool. Ah! Hey. Hey.
So in the next scene, Kogo Shuko confronts the leader of the gangs, who's played by John Barrowman from The Hills Have Eyes and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Weird eyebrows, bald.
Well, he has hypohidrotic ectodermal dysplasia.
Easy for you to say.
Well, he has no sweat glands, hair, fingernails. I knew a kid who had the same condition.
No sweat glands?
Yeah.
How do you wet sweat?
He doesn't sweat.
We just like...
He could like pass out probably if it's too hot.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Dogs don't have
why do you
sweat
make
glands.
a movie where he stays out in the desert for such a long time?
I know, right? Must be rough.
Yeah. Plus
But hey, man, he's made a career out of, being weird characters in horror movies and action movies and shit.
Totally iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And pretty good performance and like a cool cameo from him. And basically Shuko, fucking uses his stupid shadow powers to choke him in front of all the gang members. And they all fall in line behind Shuko. And he sends them all out after Billy and Jimmy and the Medallion. So Billy and Jimmy are attacked by all the different gangs. And they all have their own gimmick and costume, but they're all like really shitty. I think there's like a postal service themed gang.
You're right. You sure it's not just the one mailman?
Right? It looks like just random fucking costumes, but I think that it's supposed to be like themed gangs. It reminds me of like early 90s WWF. Like it's a lot of fucking jobber gangs.
Right. Hey, this is the businessman. He's after you too.
Yeah. There's like a fucking paisley shirt afro gang.
Yeah, it's probably
a gang and a fucking like nerds. It's not very creative. Yeah, they get chased into a boathouse and steal a boat, and then they're chased around by Kogo-Shuko's henchmen on jet skis. And one of the jet skis fires a missile that ignites the flammable Hollywood River, causes a bunch of stuff to explode. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a huge explosion.
Yeah.
I mean, the theater explosion was pretty big, and I've definitely seen that theater before, I think in RoboCop. But this... lakeside explosion is fucking massive.
Yeah.
They spent a lot of gasoline monies on that.
Yeah.
I mean, this was back in 94, so gas was way cheaper. Probably a dollar.
I think they went to like Cleveland or some shit to shoot this. It wasn't like shot in LA.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Jimmy and Billy escape by crashing the boat and escaping into the Hollywood River. And,
which they were concerned would melt their skin earlier.
Yeah, I think they say it makes your hair fall out and gives you diarrhea or some shit.
Makes your dick smaller.
Like, oh man, yeah, it makes your dick fall off.
Oh, my dick can't get any smaller.
Then I can't fuck Marion. So everyone like Kogo-Shuko assumes they're dead, and he's searching the river for the Medallion. And Billy and Jimmy escape to the Power Corps headquarters and ask Marion for help. And the Power Corps is fucking. I already said this, but it's really fucking lame. Like, even the teens in, like, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were, like, skateboarding and smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, they had arcade games. Well,
yeah, they have arcade games. But these kids are, like, playing with fucking yo-yos and doing homework. A bunch of fucking nerds. It's way too wholesome. It's like the fucking early 90s anti-drug commercial.
Doing light brights.
Yeah. It's fucking lame.
In the corner with a puzzle.
Not us. We're pro-drug. We say, go into your mom's purse, take a couple 20s, and fucking party.
Also,
right, Russ?
Yeah, whatever pills you find, do those.
Do them.
Just do
What's the worst that can happen? Yeah. I say get all the pills and do them all. So at the Power Corps headquarters, Marion has Abobo tied up, and she's like force feeding him spinach while he like farts and shits all over himself. What the fuck? Like, what happened? This character was like the big villain.
How do you do that? Spinach is supposed to be very good for the...
I forgot that he is just farting shit.
How do you do that? Spinach is supposed to be very good for the...
No, for himself.
She's just like force feeding him spinach. It's so goofy.
Down like a beer funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't even work.
He's just talking like fucking Bobcat Goldthwait.
I don't want to eat the spinach.
I'm gonna barf. So Marion talks Billy and Jimmy into breaking into Kogo-Shuko's headquarters. And there's a great scene where like Marion is crawling into the vent and Billy and Jimmy are like fighting to crawl in behind her just on the off chance they could like sniff one of her farts.
She's been eating a lot of spinach.
Yeah. But this movie is just like really showing off Alyssa Milano's ass.
It's probably a drawing point. She's been in a couple things before that, right?
Oh yeah, well she was the little girl in Who's the Boss. And then, like, she was trying to transition into movies. And then this was the year before she made she got, like, tricked into being in a softcore porn, basically, with what was it called? Kiss of the Vampire or some shit.
Is that with Nick Cage?
No, maybe I'm saying the wrong title. But she's in a vampire softcore porn. But they're like, yeah, you're going to be in this horror movie. And it's just all scenes of her in a shower, topless. and they pretty much just sold it off of her being topless. So once they're in the vents, they crawl over Kogoshuko's office, and they can see him like attempting to bribe Chief Delario.
Uh-oh, Daddy.
Yeah. And they try to steal the other half of the double dragon pin with like some fishing line and a pin. It's fucking really stupid.
Yeah, it's not a good plan.
Yeah.
But, and it all, I don't know how they thought that was going to work.
Yeah. It's very dumb.
It's not a surprise that it doesn't.
And then like
everyone's looking at it like it's just hanging down in front of everybody. It's just like
it's pretty comedic. It makes no sense.
Except fucking what's his name there, Robert.
He's completely oblivious. Lash sees it and she attacks him with a spear, and they like fall out of the ceiling. And then Chief Delario fights off Lash so they can escape, and he just kind of like defeats her by pushing like a big piece of like modern furniture over her. Which I thought was pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, modern furniture is dangerous, Gary. That's why you got to have like 4 legs and everything's got to make sense.
Well, if you're being attacked by a woman, that's a pretty hilarious way to neutralize her. Just put a dresser over her. Billy, Jimmy, and Marion escape to the lab in the basement, and Kogoshuko uses the medallion to possess corpses in the morgue, which is like actually kind of a cool scene with like some cool effects.
Right. They kind of have weird metal parts, and they're like some sort of, not cyborgs necessarily, but they're also...
Yeah, one of the guy looks like he's like kind of like a cyborg thing.
Freaks, experimental freaks. Kind of like our big buddy there with the spinach farts.
Yeah.
But different.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So, some decent effects in this movie.
Decent makeup effects, some fun design. They fight him.
They fight him a little bit.
One of the better, more interesting fight scenes so far.
Yeah. Marion and Billy escape, and Shuko takes Jimmy hostage. So, Shuko gives him like more exposition. He's telling Jimmy he killed his father over the medallion. All this shit is super vague. Meanwhile, Billy almost makes out with Marion, but they're interrupted when the Power Corps headquarters is attacked by Kogoshuko and all the gangs.
She likes the doofy one?
Yeah, well, Jimmy doesn't seem to be going for it. Billy went right for it.
Yeah, so. You're right. He made the moves first.
So then all the gangs attack them.
Right.
Like all the fucking... Looks like a bunch of like warriors rejects. They all like come repelling in.
Are you ready?
Also, like, I guess it's just art direction, but like, why is there like a green liquid everywhere in the fucking Power Corps headquarters? Like, are these just like a bunch of kids playing hacky sack in a sewer? Like,
it's 1994. It's
like a fucking green Kool-Aid.
Ecto Cooler factory.
Yeah, it's Ecto Cooler.
The shit was delicious.
It does look like a fucking Capri Sun commercial when all these kids like they're gonna turn into weird fucking liquid things and fly away.
Liquid metal. I mean, Robert Patrick's there.
Yeah.
He should be the one drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that'd be a great mashup if you do like Robert Patrick from T2 and the Capri Sun commercials.
He liquefies and flies around.
Yeah.
Stabs you through the back.
Have you seen this boy? Is he thirsty? They grab Alyssa Milano's character, and Lash says to her,
"Now who's the boss?" She was in Who's the Boss.
Oh, yeah. I didn't get that.
That's all the Lash character does in this movie is make terrible one-liners. Yeah, and they tie up Lash, and like some big guy just like knocks her out, and it's played for laughs. It's kind of funny. Just a little tiny woman getting like punched in the face by a big dude. It's like, whoa, that's silly.
But she's
probably gonna have brain damage.
It's it's usually not the punch. It's the falling down that does the damage.
Well, getting a concussion is like people will be like, oh, he smacked her, he didn't punch her. But getting a concussion is just from your head whipping around, and your brain moving inside your skull. So it's like any type of hit that makes your head whip is really bad.
Bruising that blood-brain barrier, buddy.
Jimmy shows up. Turns out it's Kogoshuko possessing his body.
Oh, fuck. This guy just always possessing the bodies, turning into 2D, getting inside your body like a weird... He's a soul? He's not. I thought he was
the power of the soul.
Okay.
So...
Yeah.
I guess that means you can possess people.
He sounds like a very two-dimensional
Which is weird
character.
because he's taking control of their body. You think it would be the power of the body.
Right.
But
I mean, there's the soul and the body.
It would be funny if he picked up the medallion that was the power of the soul, and then he just like turned into a black dude.
He's had the most funkadelic.
Yeah. He goes from being Vanilla Ice to being MC Hammer. Where are we at? Oh yeah, they fight on some arcade cabinets.
Right. I even see
good art direction.
Double Dragons there. The game.
I don't know. I think so. Yeah, I think they punched Double
They
Dragon at some
smash
point.
it,
Yeah, the movie has good art direction. There's good like locations and set pieces, and like they mix it up. So Billy gets frustrated at one point, and he like throws the medallion, and it just like it comes back to him, and that's what triggers its power finally. So now he finally knows how to use it.
You just have to get mad and throw it.
Yeah. Pretty
Wow.
stupid. Then there's a shot of like Jimmy doing a flip, or Shuko as Jimmy doing a flip, and you could see the camera operator's hand holding the camera by the map box.
Oh, cool. And this little crew continuity error there.
Yeah, it seems pretty glaringly obvious.
I mean, if you only got one take of it, Gary,
Yeah, you needed that second angle, I guess.
This is back in the day before you could fix it. I guarantee you they would take it out now digitally.
Yeah.
But this is back when you're actually capturing a guy do a front flip.
Yeah, that's an old school camera operator holding the 35mm camera by the map box.
Well, that's pretty...
Nowadays, these fucking kids, they got fucking fancy handles rigged up to the fucking camera. Nah, back in my day, you hold the fucking camera right by the map box. Boom, boom, you get in there. 35mm lens, you know what I'm saying? You put the fucking person right in the action.
So you're saying that's bad? You're not supposed to grab it by the map
No,
box?
that's proper way. Like when people have cheaper cinema cameras or there's shitty rigs nowadays, a lot of times they're like map boxes that you can't really hold the camera by it. But like on a real 35mm Arriflex or whatever, that was a real map box that you could hold the camera by it and use it as handles basically.
Stable enough. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine a 35mm camera is
Yeah, well nowadays the problem, all the kids on set, they're all wearing fucking dresses and they don't know what fucking gender they are. You know what I'm saying? Back in my day, I wear girls' panties, but I always wear guys' clothes on the top. No disrespect. Show some respect. Fuck your mother. Forget about it. So Shuko puts Billy through a wall, but doesn't like hurt him because now he has the power from the medallion
of madness, of anger.
Yeah.
He's like Ben Stiller in Mystery Men. He's just mad. That's his power.
Okay.
You can't do anything with it. But this protects him. The medallion is protecting him now because it's the power of the body. Is that it?
Yes. So Shuko can't possess him or really hurt him. But Kogo Shuko tricks him and gets both halves of the medallion.
No.
And he snaps them together, and there's a bunch of fucking After Effects nonsense.
So bad.
Yeah. And then Kogo Shuko turns into a demon with a sword, and he splits into two demons with swords.
Right. They're very Power Rangers-esque.
Yeah.
These two blue demons.
They look kind of cool. The effect is kind of, it's not great because it's 1994, but the actual makeup application on the guys is cool enough.
And they're supposed to be like evil versions of him, or was that not?
Dude, I don't know. It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, because he's
the Double Dragon. It's a force for good when two people each have one side, but when one guy has it, it's totally evil and it makes two evil guys. It makes no fucking sense. So the Lee brothers beat the two demons, and then they just like morph back into Kogashuko, and then the medallions magically fall into the hands of the Lees, who transform into like these fucking really bad red and blue costumes. Whoever designed these costumes should be burnt to death in an abandoned theater.
We don't really have to wear these, do we?
Terrible.
It's like it's 1994. I don't know where the fuck. It looks like something like a dress from the 80s. They're really bad.
It's not good. And I think the characters even call it out. One's like, well, at least I'm not wearing the blue one.
Yeah.
Queer.
Yeah.
Is
it's
that
also
the
like
joke
very
there?
Power Rangers-y. Like, oh, now we have our colored costume. You got to make a bright colored costume so that when we make the action figure, we just take the same action figure and paint it a different color and sell it to the stupid kid twice.
As was tradition in the 90s, in the 80s.
Well, it all started with Star Wars. Star Wars
Sure.
made these action figures. Nobody took action figures that seriously at that point, and they were so popular the year they came out for Christmas that like they couldn't even make enough. Kids were getting like IOUs for Star Wars figures, and then from that point on, they realized like, oh yeah, merchandising and action figures is a huge part of the movie. That's why all movies now are kids' movies.
Right.
Because you can't make an adult movie. There's no fucking action figures for it.
Yeah, you're not going to slap a Scarface
in
on
2022,
a
there's a lot of adults in America who want to buy action figures. So.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure. There is certainly a market. In fact, I'm sure the majority of...
We're a culture of perpetual children.
It's probably even shifted. I bet there's more people, adults, who want to have action figures than children who want to have action figures.
Yeah. There's more Funko Pops than there are like actual unironic kids' toys.
Oh my gosh, Funko Pops! It's just final. It's just silly. I mean, the design isn't horrible, but it is kind of dead shark eye.
It's just your mental illness, like
I gotta collect.
Turned physical.
I gotta collect Indiana Jones one.
It's a weird OCD to like buy this shit and put it on your walls.
Yeah. Reminds me of people who got like a lot of like old people who have dolls, like doll collections.
Yeah, well, it's not even like they're not even cool. They're so fucking lame and boring and.
I seen that movie. I want that doll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's somehow like marketing's figured out, or someone's figured out how to like tap into our like hunter gatherer mentality. So,
make it happen.
Then you get people to buy a bunch of shit they don't need.
If any of you actually do like Funko Pops and collect them,
kill yourself.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe, and then kill yourself.
Oh yeah, so you can always stay liked and subscribed. You can't ever take that back. Wow.
So then the cops show up, and all the dorks of the Power Corp are like, "Yay, the cops!
They're helping us now."
They tattle on all the cool gang guys, and all the guys in the gangs get locked up for decades on like minor drug offenses because they had like a gram of weed on them or something.
You're right.
That's basically it.
That's the movie?
That's the movie.
Damn. Double Dragons.
Yeah.
I mean, one of them gets the girl at the end, right? No?
I guess so.
They double team her?
They might. That might be why it's called Double Dragon.
Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Wow. And then, fucking, what's his name? Our meathead now.
Blow a homo?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's where Jojo Blowjo.
Yeah.
Drives away into the sunset real fast. They think
now he's like their goofy sidekick. He's like, I'm tired of fighting. I want to be friends with you guys and be a big retard.
Well, that's fine because he can drive the car now. He's like a limo driver.
Yeah.
He gets you there real quick.
Yeah.
He's like most Uber drivers.
Retarded?
And yeah.
Yeah, and you can't understand what they're saying.
They got big mutants, just freaks.
Yeah.
No.
So,
if any Uber drivers out there are offended by that joke, like and subscribe.
Yeah. We depend on the support of the Uber driving community, so please like and subscribe.
Always watching YouTube on their drives.
Oh, my friend, these guys, they're hilarious. They make fun of old movies and they call everybody gay. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh, hello.
We're huge with the Uber driving community.
And just getting bigger.
It's a fact.
Just getting bigger like...
refugees from war-torn countries who are working for minimum wage to drive you around love our shit.
He says this guy's penis is small. It is so funny.
It's exactly who this is made for. Make no fucking misunderstanding about it.
Yeah. Double Dragon. You didn't mention their silly fucking high five. It's like...
I don't remember that.
One goes in for like a fist bump, and then the other hand's going for like a high five. But
the other one spreads his ass open and takes his fist up to the colon.
Each time.
I wear my little brother like a wristwatch. It's our thing.
What time is it, bro?
Oh, my friend. They are talking about fisting Scott Wolf. This podcast is hilarious.
Yeah.
So, Double Dragon, it was a pretty big flop theatrically.
Oh, no.
Before the movie came out, James Yukich, it's pretty appropriate, for the director to be named Yukich. But he was mostly doing music videos, and then he went back to doing music videos.
It does look like a
music video.
Early '90s hip hop music video kind of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just the styling and everything.
Alyssa Milano looks like she's in like fucking Salt and Pepper. So this pretty much killed the Double Dragon franchise, which isn't like a huge tragedy.
No more games after that?
No, there were tons of games, but there was never another film.
Sure.
And, like I said, it's not a huge tragedy because even the original video game is just a bunch of recycled cliches from kung fu movies.
Sure.
Which is like always the irony when Hollywood like makes these video game movies is they're usually just like kind of lazy properties that were just based off of movies in the 80s anyways.
Right.
Like if you make a Contra movie, you're just making a thing that's based off of
like
Predator, and it's like, why? What's
Aliens,
even the point? Yeah.
Because, I mean, video games didn't really have to have too much story. It's like the stripped down, okay, what was the action of a thing? Sweet. Now you're jumping on platform. It doesn't matter how you got to this other world. It's that you're there and you're shooting your little guns. And now to make a movie out of that is like you just took the tropes of the trope and the action, and then you tried to build a story onto a non-storied thing. And that's why I think Super Mario's was bad, because fucking the same thing. It was like it's a plumber and he jumps around in the sewers with mushrooms, and then you're like, all right, I can go off this.
Yeah, there's not really like much original there, but it's a known IP, so Hollywood's gonna have to like figure out some way to exploit it.
Right. So two brothers, they fight. One wears red and blue at some point, and there you go, street violence.
Movie. I'm sure that they were like, this is gonna be like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers.
It's very much.
It's meant to be like a kids thing.
Was Power Rangers out then? Yeah, that's 94. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, that would make sense. It also feels kind of Power Rangers with like the.
Yeah, it feels very Power Rangers with the guys in like the big costumes and the red and the blue and the teens drama, but sexier because Alyssa Milano is constantly showing off her butt. But the movie, it has it's bad direction, terrible performances, and like the worst part of it is it's just fucking boring. Like I remember when I had this as a kid, I had it on VHS, and I would always like put it on, but I'd never get to the end because it's like it has colorful characters and shit, but there's just nothing like compelling beyond that.
Yeah, sure, I could see that.
Just,
I did almost fall asleep to it a couple times.
Yeah, and the soundtrack isn't good. And this was like the peak of like good soundtracks in the mid '90s when like they were actually trying to make money off the soundtracks. So they'd get a bunch of like good current musicians on it. This one's pretty fucking boring.
U2.
Yeah. I don't know. The movie, it has like good locations and set pieces. There's like cool matte paintings, and it does a good job of like creating a dystopian LA.
Yeah. There are a surprising number of like really decent matte paintings.
Yeah, it's probably like almost a half dozen really cool matte paintings. There's one of like the Capitol Records building. It's like sinking into the water, the Hollywood River. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Chunks of the highway.
Yeah. But overall, I say it's pretty bad, even for like a video game movies.
What are you gonna give it, a 1 out of 5 De Niro's?
Yeah, I'd give it 1 De Niro.
Really?
Yeah.
For the matte paintings, that's what gains it at least.
Yeah.
At least the 1. Otherwise, a 0.
There's some cool visuals and Alyssa Milano's butt, and that's about it.
That's
about pretty bad movie.
Yeah, you could probably skip it.
Yeah.
Unless you really love Double Dragon or butts.
Yeah.
Of like supposed teenagers.
Yeah. Well, we're not giving it 0 stars.
No, definitely not. In fact, I'm going to give it 2.
All right. Because
the matte paintings.
Yeah. They are pretty great matte paintings.
Right.
Some cool effects. Fucking Robert Patrick overacting a lot. Oh, there's like one scene where Lash puts on the lights in the office. He's like, "Oh, not without my shades."
It feels like me in the morning.
Yuck.
Fucking turning that light on. God, is it because he has the soul? Fucking medallion. That's
yeah.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, the medallion's dynamics, like just how it functions, just doesn't make sense.
It feels like he's almost trying to be like a cool like anti-hero, but he's not an anti-hero. He's just a villain.
He's rich.
I don't know.
He like owns the police. He tries to bribe them.
Yeah. He owns Kristina Wagner,
who's having a blast the entire time.
Yeah, she's riffing. She's doing one-liners the whole time. She's fucking hilarious. Yeah, Double Dragon can suck my dick.
Double Dragon can fist my ass.
Yeah. Suck my dick and fist Russ's ass.